So last class, we are now about to explore the Joule skill in the Joule Studio. So we have learned in the last class, as a recap, we understood how to set up the environment and connectivity for Joule skills. And then we also understood how to create the action projects for that. And then we created using the Joule Studio, we have tried to deploy a skill. Now we are in the process of deploying this skill. So in class, we will be completing that part where we will create and deploy the Joule skill. We'll create some apply filters and some sort of other actions also in that. And we will try to consume an automated process also in the Joule skill. So this complete an end-to-end cycle for the Joule Studio's initial Joule skill creation. Okay. So last class, we have, after enabling all the setup and everything, we triggered a scenario for the Joule, and then we retrieved the business partner data by using the business partner general data. And then we invoked an action against the create badge, okay, which is the request that we are going for the Joule. So these are all your skills you are developing for the Joule front-end Copilot. Okay. So now here, what is the last part when I'm doing that, we have stopped it, like because the time is over last week, last class. So here we have to send the message. Okay. That means whenever you want to send message, okay, or whenever you want to send message in the sense means for the Joule request, we will be doing that. For that, you have to configure the send message configuration also in this. Okay. So for that, what kind of captures that you can do for Joule Studio or Joule Copilot, that you will do it through send message. Okay. So after invoke action in the flow, if you expand that, you will see this one called send response. So if you click on send response, you will see a thing called send message. Okay. So in this message, nothing but what is the send message? Nothing but whenever you are going for open Copilot here, when you're typing something, for that what information that system has to give it back to you, that one you will mainly configure in the send message. Okay. So here, if you go to the open message editor, so if you see this one, so the message types will be 3. Illustrated message, that means whatever I'm going to write it, right? That is called illustrated, detailedly, or and at a high level, I'll write it. So that is called your illustrated message. And there will be a normal text. If there are any cards, certain types of cards, if you see ChatGPT kind of thing, you will just put some card. Card is mean like an image or something, you'll put it. It will read and give it to you. Okay. It's not exactly the same thing. The cards will work similarly like that. And any list that you're giving for it. So that type of messages here, we are writing an illustrated message. So that illustrated message also, what is the name you have to put it. So now this is a completely, we are doing for a corporate level. That means at a company level you're doing. So nothing funky and, giving something on that. So you can write this one. There is a badge request is there, which you can give the same name for it. Okay. And text also you can write. Text in the sense means here, whatever the information that you are giving to the system, so it will read, that means what we call the common key components or key items that you have already mapped in this flow, like your business partner number, first name, last name, your user ID. So these things, you will map it into the technical configuration. And the sense means you will tell them what is that user ID, because you are mapping from a backend database like S4HANA or something. So you have to tell it clearly, okay, pick this ID for this one. So when you are prompting, give this information. So you're giving that kind of instruction basically in the message configuration. This is very important. So if you see here, for the badge, you can write like this. Badge, for every component, when you write, you can see system is giving you some help components here. Okay, based on whatever the flow that we have written, right? According to the flow, picking inputs, outputs, it will show you some items here. Okay, based on that, you have to take it. Okay, how you take it? For example, in ABAP, people who are in ECC or who knows S4HANA, while you're writing in the coding editor, it will show you, right? The moment when you're putting some letters, it will show you all help sections there. You will just tab it and you will go continue write it. When you're writing code in even SE38 or even in normal S4HANA editor, you do it generally. Similarly, in SAP build also, while you are writing, you have to, after writing anything, you have to use the symbol $. So $will help you to get that relevant context that is already stored in the system based on your flow. Okay, so the moment when you write dollar, okay, so you can see here, this two less than greater than symbol is there, right? So if you go to this symbol, it will show you the data mapping. So here you can directly take those ones. Okay, you don't need to worry about formulas, everything. Don't worry, nothing. No big formulas. It's a no code, low code kind of thing. As I said earlier, it's very easy to build the simulations in this. Okay, so now here I'm giving, because this badge, why I have written this is not something mandatory, but I'm giving. So I have to tell that, right? If I'm asking system, hey, I have to create this badge, create this badge. Badge means nothing but user ID. So create the user ID, something. If I'm telling to system has to understand what is user ID, right? So that is the reason I'm writing the script along with its relevant fields and mapping the relevant fields in this text. Okay, the same thing what we have in BPA also. If you remember in my last exercise BPA also, I showed you that in the subject line. So this is for example, this is the automation. This is the so-called sender name. For sender name, I mapped the input field. So similarly, you have to map the relevant fields while writing the text also. So here also, I'm going for badge. Okay, what is the badge? When I'm saying badge means badge ID that you have to map. So don't go to this help, directly go to this section. Okay, and if you expand the result, you will see the badge ID clearly here. Just click that. So automatically Joule will get that context. What context are you going to map it? So context.joule_action is all my service name. So it was actually taken the badge ID from the result pane. This is what you have to check. From the result pane, the badge ID has been captured or not. That's it. Okay. Now badge ID has been captured. So $2 are not required. I mistakenly given $2. One is enough. Okay. And then badge has been created for, this is the message which you are expecting from Joule. So you're asking Joule to give this message. So badge has been created for whom? For an employee, right? So that name you have to put it. Again, go to this double arrows and take the employee first name. Okay, this is enough. You can give last name, everything as per your requirement later on time. But this is what you have to do. Just out of the box, if you double click there, the pop-up will go out. Okay, so this is what you are doing now. Badge with ID has been created for particular X person whom you are asking. Okay, now if you see the illustration, what is the illustration? Illustration means nothing but choosing your appropriate, what you call a block. If you see the illustration, this one, whatever the text you are seeing, when you want it, when you add a column, when you add a dimension, when you make some connection, when you do before search. So the illustration, what you are expecting, because I am saying the message, do a illustrated message. That illustration, you have to tell what is the illustration is about. Now here is illustration is about is what I am adding IDs with people, right? So now this is adding people. So this is a people kind of story, right? So now if you go to add people, this will be done. Then you have to give some buttons. If you see this on the right side of the pane, there is a preview for you. So this is like what I call a small Fiori, what we call those tiles. A tile kind of thing will show you in the Joule itself. You can directly click it, or you can go to that relevant database also if that is a separate connection for you. Okay. So if you see this, you'll add the button. Now you will tell that what is this particular preview tile will do it for you. What is our requirement now? To create employee IDs with help of Joule, which is an automation again, right? Instead of I am sending some mails and everything, I ask Joule, hey, create this person. Okay, that's it. Okay. So now here, if you go to the title, you can put a title here. Go to batch system, it automatically populate. And then you have to provide a URL. So this URL, generally you have to, because when you are generating this URL, right, a kind of SAP build platforms, there are some standard URLs are there wherein which this will generate. Okay, or else when you are hitting a database with some actions like Python or any other non-SAP database or SAP database, whatever it might be. So those API URLs, wherever you're hitting, right, those ones you have to map it here. Okay, this is the common URL which I'm taking for the standard one. This is already there. I'm just giving it to you for your reference also. I'm just popping it for you here. You can keep it, or in my document, I'll anyways provide it to you. And then here, the image URLs, what you are seeing, right? Instead of here, the whatever the image you are looking into here, the image will go into the batch system. Okay. So this image, if you want to replicate with any, for example, Tech Mahindra, if it is allowed, it can generally do it. If you say I'm going for Tech Mahindra now here, so you can copy the image URLs as well, whatever the image URLs, it means any URL address, you can directly paste it there. Okay, I'm taking the image address. I'm trying to map it here. Okay, so usually if this is allowed, it will show. If this is not allowed, it will not show. But in your production systems or in your live systems, generally when you copy the image, they will get it into it directly. If there is any image broader security that is not helping us, then it will be stopped. Okay, so now just save this one. See, the send message has been done. Okay, the configuration has been done. Now, if you go to the end, we started with, now we have to end it. Now in the end, you have to configure all these things here. Okay, so the badge ID, okay, and it automatically shows the output. If it sometimes it will not show you, you have to do it. I'll close this and show you one more time. Okay, so the badge, relevant badge ID you will share. For employee ID, you can make the employee business partner ID. If you come down, you can see this one. For employee name, you can take the employee name, which is first name. Okay, so all these are mapped. Okay, and finally save this. So once you save this, you can release this one. If there are no errors, always ensure the design console is 0 with no errors. So this is released. You can see the project version here, which is released for this one, and you can deploy it. So which environment are you going to generate this? That is also important. Okay. So let's say if I'm going for KBO123J, same environment, we can do it. Okay. This is for KJ mock BP. So for that, you can take the KJ S4 HANA mock. For badge invoke service, we already created variables, right? So same thing I'm mapping here, guys. For S4 HANA mock, S4 HANA mock, that's it. And now deploy. Let this deploy, and you will see the first experience of Joule Copilot. So people who are on functional consultants, who are sales, pre-sales, architects, kinds of guys, because this training is intended for everyone, for Joule for consultants, Joule for developers, Joule for functionals. Okay, for everyone, this will be helpful. So all these configurations and creations will be more helpful for the people who are on the development patterns. Okay, who are on developers generally, who do J4D kind of stuff, because now there is two things running parallelly in Joule, which is Joule J4D, J4C. Okay, so this is mainly targets for J4D, people who want to be on more on development side. They have to be more concentrating on this. People who are on consulting, they have to understand the functional flavor of it, and based on that, they can play with the tool like accordingly. Now you can see the triggers, the start event, everything is created, dependencies, everything is done. Now you have to test this particular thing. So where you will test it, again, you have to go back to, have to circle back to your start position where you have done this, where we have done this from the environment. So let's go into the environment now. Okay, now if you see on the control tower, we are on the environments. Go to the relevant environment where we have created, right? Okay, if you go to the environments, I have given for KBO123J, right? So on KBO123J, I have two projects is there, create badge and create badge one. Okay, this is the one recently done. Okay, so if you go to the create badge one, if you click on it, okay, so here you have to go to the Joule's perspective on the more. There you will see this create badge one. Okay, if you double click on it, and there is a launch button. Just launch it. You will see your Joule Copilot, which was configured for you for this skill. This is your Joule Copilot, which is launching for you. See here. So this is a Joule Copilot. This is the experience which you'll get. So this is a testing environment, what you're seeing. The same environment will go to the customer or user when you land this into a build work zone environment. In the BTP, we have one more thing I told you, which is called build work zone. I have not discussed or showed anything because this is the reason, because all the apps, all the Joule Studio works, whatever you're doing, right, it will go and land there for testing purpose only. You can test the same thing from here also. There is no need to go to work zone anyways, but in work zone, what you do, how you do, we will see in the coming sessions. But for now, understand that there will be two output strategies. You can just see these Joule outputs. One is in the control tower environment, and in the Joule, there you can see this one directly. And second one, in the build work zone, you have to separately create an environment for your specific need purpose, and there you have to integrate these individual Joule Studio apps and other apps into that, wherein which they will also start triggering the same way here what you're seeing now. Okay. Now it's asking me, talk to me naturally. Now I'll ask this a few questions. I mean, the correct way I have to ask it. So I'm asking this, please. Now for what we created this, the first one, to create a badge for the employee, right? Now we can say, please create a badge for whom? For the employee. For the employee, you have to give the existing ID if you have anything. Like I'm giving this one. Okay. The badge status, that means he is a new employee. So you have to give the status as new. If you understand, in my second API service where I called it, there I called all these ID, status, everything. In my initial action project, which we have done, I mapped it right there. From there, it will pick it. Okay. Now I'm saying that the badge status is new and his community ID is, I can say like this, k.bo@westernsap.com. I just splitted my name, okay, and just send this.
But if you're not giving that inputs, it will ask you, please provide these details. You just write like, please create a badge for employee.
Okay, because still I have not matured the tool now for my purpose. I have to give it clearly for what I'm doing this.
Okay.
Or else this ID, I'll just change it. It's not taking anything here.
Sorry to interrupt, Kaibo. Just now someone asked some query, right?
One second. I'll come to that. This is, I have to refresh it. One second, guys. I have to refresh this or something. This is not taking.
So is this not related to that, or how is it? Hello?
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, just now someone asked the query. I just wanted to know like whether you will update it later or like you will address the query now itself.
No, I'll address the query now itself only. I am just checking this. Tell me what is the query first of all. Tell me.
I just asked about like whether we have to give all the inputs or you can just tell like, please create the badge for employee. Then it will ask, okay, these are the inputs required. Provide that kind of conversation we can do, or in the first prompt only we have to give everything.
First prompt only you have to give clearly, like, I'm just seeing, right? You cannot say, that's what I'm saying. The prompt engineering should be properly done. You cannot say funkily that, create this, create that. It has to understand, that is the relevancy you have to put it. Then only it will clearly understand, because this is native to SAP, right? Not like ChatGPT, you type wrong also, it picks something and give it to you, not like that. Even though, yeah, here also it will happen, but when you are creating or making some impact towards the database, then you should be clear, because I'm saying create the ID in the sense means it has to create the ID, make some status, and put this in the back to database also. It has to save the information database also. That is, it is doing for database print also. So
Yeah.
it should be clear what you are asking in such cases. If it is general knowledge base or something, you can ask the way you want. You are just doing with the chat GPT only, right? No worries on
So,
that.
yeah, no, why I asked is maybe actual user will not be knowing, right, what are the input fields required.
You can write, for example, you are a new employee joined, right? So any ID, for example, employee ID 100-110 with status new. This is a new, not a old one. So you can write his community ID is this. So please create. You can ask it and it will create it. That's the purpose of creation here. So now the badge has been created for John. You are seeing that system has created a badge for John. So whether it has created or not, if you want to check it, it was asking us to go to this tile. This is what we have done the configuration in this level. If you see this create badge flow, I showed you right in this send message pattern. Okay, if you see this pattern, if you go to the message editor, whatever the configuration I have done, that is for this only. So this badge, if you remember last time in the text, I mapped the ID and for then first name also I mapped. Here you can map anything the same way. Okay, once you map it, the URL I told you, right, where your Fiori tiles will be generally gone, because if you want to see the system where it is created or not, if you want to understand, if you just click on the go to badge system there, see access pro systems. This is one of the SAP site only, just for this demo purposes only, we'll use it. So like this is a system where you will see, you can imagine this instead of Access Pro, you might see your HR system or your success factor system, whatever it might be. So in that, see John Doe, it has been created. John Doe, the community ID. So 1003764 status new. You can see all these things. You can see the details of it here. If you go to the details, you'll see the details of the particular ID as well. 1003764. Okay, so like this you can create, there will be many John Does will be there, so relevant to that John Doe also you can just check it out. Okay, so if you see I have given 1003764 some number, right? So you can check on that number as well, or else you can search from here, search the community ID John. Like this you can see this is a different one. There might be another one with the same status, it will be there. This is only with IDs only it is checking. There will be all IDs which will generate in this list. Okay, so like this you can create, you can make the impact on it. So now this is a system ready for you. Now you can start making leveraging of this. So in your success factors, you should not think like in a normal, if you I am a HR executive, so if I want to create an employee ID, or if the already employee ID is created by security, if I want to create an ID for him for the companies joining for multi-purpose, I can simply talk to Joule that, hey, create this with this ID for this email ID, because email ID will be initially created, right? So you can create even email IDs also you can create. If we can further like do the tweaking of this, you don't need to separately create email ID. At a stretch, when an employee joins, you can create the ID, email ID, and even you can create the so-called like the ID cards, bar IDs, and everything also. You can imagine how bigger and easier also. For example, I'm onboarding 30 people at a stretch, it will be a biggest hub for me. So you can just simply ask Joule, you can give those names and everything, ask him to create, it will automatically create your IDs, email IDs and everything automatically. Okay, so I will show you a variation on this. Now what we will do is, further we will do, this is just creating this now. Now someone has lost something, or we have to add a kind of filters also on this, if you want to automate this process completely. These are all variations that you will see as part of that. For example, if you see, for example, I want to do an action on it. When action in the sense means if I want to get the complete details about that particular employee, I want to see the first name, last name, and what is that particular person will do. All these activities, I want to completely look into it. So in those cases, if I want to understand what this employee, for example, I said create a badge, right? Now after this, I can ask him to create a new email ID also. That means, for example, I am a front desk reception. You can see in every big company, there's a front desk receptionist there, right? For example, in the receptions, when someone goes and say, you might be also experiencing, even with you without ID also, if you go to one of the other branch, they will ask that, are you an employee of Tech Mahindra? You said, yes, I'm a Tech Mahindra. Now show me your ID, or they will ask you, what is your ID? So instead of that, what the system will do, a kind of variation here, a front desk employee can, give the employee ID and name and to check in the Joule. That means they also can get the benefit of it. They just check they ask the Joule that, hey, this employee K, is he the right employee? So that's the way they will check it. So in the system, Joule will answer that, yes, this employee belongs to Tech Mahindra for so entity. This is the mail ID, or this is the employee ID. So that will validate the employee identity also. So these are all every skill, every individual variation you want to put it in your business process, that become a skill. Right. Creation of ID, whatever I told, it is a skill. After creation, for example, now what I said, the variation I'll show you now, that filterings or that what we call another kind of business add-in, whatever you're trying to put it, is a skill. Now, sometimes, in the other part, for example, if you want to completely give the control to the job to create, to validate, to delete, or to edit, all these things, every single block will be a skill for the job. It's not that all you can block into one umbrella and can't call a skill. Skill is nothing but an individual activity that Joule Studio is working for you will be called as a skill. So each skill you have to individually configure, individually process, individually make a flow for it, individually configure, and then you have to validate and run it. So every time you are making something, the Joule will hit the backend skills, and the skills will hit the relevant action projects, and that action projects will get the relevant, talk to the relevant source systems for the data, and it will put it for you. If you remember, the first day I have drawn a diagram. Same thing. This is called bidirectional communication. I told you. This is what the bidirectional communication. Now you are going to see that. Okay, someone is speaking. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Kaibu, this is a refresh issue. Initially, we haven't, badge request was not processed, right?
Yeah, refresh issue only. Yeah.
Only refresh. The other one
No,
is
not refresh issue. Yeah, even this is a 7-digit number. I given 3-digit number.
yeah,
Even that's a
yeah,
refresh issue, but this is a 7-digit ID number also. I given three digits, so it was not collected.
yeah.
That's
My next question is the same one. See, suppose I have given 6-digit number. At the time, can we populate one error message to the user saying
definitely.
that?
Yeah, I just, because I have not given any if and if else conditions. No, if I put this ID is matching, then it will go. If it is not matching, it will show an error message. That also there. See here in the same part, if you see this.
Yeah.
See, you have a condition. This condition you can keep it, check condition. If that is not happening, you can put a message, sorry, the assigned ID is not validated or it is not found in database, hence I cannot proceed. This kind of messages, generally it will show you. See here, for example, I have not configured, still I'll ask the role, see what it respond to me.
Hello. Hey, Satish, how are you? Satish, quickly, Chandeep here. Satish, need one feedback. So you remember, see, for B2B, I asked you and
Someone is speaking, they can be in mute, please. Or else, yeah. Can you please report the last incident of the user ID? Same thing, because I have not configured. See what it is telling. I have not configured that. But system is telling some few things will be globally it will take. But for your user, if you want to specifically pop up the error messages, it will do. For example, I'll ask, See what it can do. Because this is all not configuration issues, you have to configure it properly, because this is initial configuration I did it with the Joule. Whatever the system replication, system related data, I have feed it for it, and then I'm telling that give the answers for that. So it is behaving like that. So if you, this is a thing, I'll show you the 2-3 more variations in this now. We'll add some additions on this. But yes, if you see the same Joule Studio in public cloud, kind of finance, kind of procurement, or sales and logistics. If you go there, if you ask Joule right now, it is little mature. It will create the purchase orders. It will create invoices. It will create the, what you call the, it will validate the foreign currency valuations. Right now it's doing that. Okay. But yes, that is still on R&D, because some of these things are really not working up to the mark. But yes, it is right now doing, and it was being released also. So these are things are happening in the cloud environment at certain rate. I cannot see 100% Joule is making miracles. That might be a wrong statement, but yes, it is maturing day by day. For 65 to 70%, it is working as per expectation. So for all the clouds, so for that also, what you have to do, you have to backend configure all these things. So people who are on J4D, they have to understand, even J4C also, that Joule, the moment the tool installs, it can't answer for you until or unless if it is already pre-configured for you completely as a pack for you from SAP. Yes, if you are doing a greenfield project or a kind of new project that you want to implement Joule skills in your new projects, then all these configurations you have to mandatorily do for your customized, what you call, skills for whatever the customer's need is demanding for you. Okay. So let me add a variation now. Now, whatever the variation I told to you, that, for example, not only to the HR department, now people who are sitting at the front office also, they should have the Joule connection. They can also make some validation, right? So to do that variation, let me go into the activities the action projects one more time. If you go to the build, now what I'm saying at the front end desk also, the people who are on the front desk, now they want to make some action on that, right? So for that, if you go here, take your business partner, what we have created last time. What is the business partner I created? This one, right? Okay. If you take this, go to the versions. Okay, I'm just tweaking the same thing here. So if you want to copy paste the same thing, always go to the version. So already released ones you cannot copy, but editable ones you can make a copy. Okay, if you see here, there is no copy of it. Okay, now you can make a new copy of the editable version. Don't do the published library ones here. Save as new project. Just 1 second, guys. We refresh this. This is blocking here. Okay, where is this? KJ business partner. Save as new project. Put that as KJ API business partner. Now just change this to a name which can be sensible for you. Okay, now you are filtering the business partners because you want to validate that, right? I can keep it as KJ underscore filtered BP. Now this is for which purpose? This is to give Joule access to information about the business partners. Okay, so here what you do, an extra input field will added on this particular Joule skill to simplify the usage of the filter. 9:30. 9:30. Okay. about the business partners. So I'm adding an extra input field will be added here.
So while giving a prompt, it will check the exact verbiage and then, take an action?
No. This is just as the keywords, it will check it. You should not ask the same way. Verbiage will be there, but not exactly. At least relevant verbiage, if it is matching, it will. That's the reason I'm writing this detailedly. So that system will understand that. At least some verbs, some keywords will match, right? That is why.
Okay. So then it is intelligent enough not to use the exact verbiage, some here and there.
Exactly. Even if you have seen that I asked it that create this only, right? I have not exactly use the same web page while I'm creating, but it will understand for what purpose it is getting understood for the Joule purpose, right? Now I have created I have copied this one as a new project. Let me go into this action, the new action. Okay. Now here you will see the business partner general data. In the earlier skill, I use this one, BP by partner number. Now I am getting the general data because I want to validate the general data of the business partner. Okay. So this is one such exercise. I'm going to the input. You can see all these inputs are been mapped here. Now try to add one. Here, because there is no name, right, of this particular business partner. So I'm adding that here, add that field. So I'm adding the new field here, which is first name. Okay. This is not mandatory. The parameter is a custom, type can be string because it is name. So for purpose of Joule, you have to give the labels always. So same name, I'm maintaining the name I have given there, which is first name. Okay. And then simply add this. No weight of any values here. For now, just skip it and put the first name. So you can see this is created here. The first name is created here. Okay. And then you can see this first name. You can now put the values, whatever you want to map for it as well. Just hold on, it is going slow. Yeah. Now, if you see, I am adding a filter condition here, right? Where in my next skill, I am filtering the business partners who are having the, when someone is asking, I put it, so it will filter and get the data back to the user who is asking that. So that is nothing but I am doing filter. The action is filter. So if you see here the filter action is there, right? So onto this filter action, if you go to the value field, Oh, I have not saved it right. Let me recreate this. First name. First name. Add this. And then for this filter, go to the value here. So onto the value, you will see, come down, you will see a help page here. That means a section here. If you click on the values of whatever the filters that you want to make it out, you have to write for first name. That means on which individual field you are filtering. That is what the configuration you are doing here. Okay. So for that, my column name, I have to check it. That is from the main database, first name, business partner, last name. These are the ones which I have earlier selected for this particular general data also. So now first name, when it is equal to, okay, first name, that means from the database of first name, it is equal to the first name, then get the relevant data of that person. Okay, that is what the condition, simple. Okay, now I have added this condition and simply come out, close this, save this. Okay, now if you test it, output is common here. The same wins which we have already done, it will be there in the output because a copy of the same space, right? So just test it. Now in the test, what you have to test, you are giving some name. The first name, you have asked the employee the first name, he told the first name, that first name only now we have to give it here, right? So for that, go and give it here. So destination, you have to give the S4HANA mock, which we have already done here. KJ mock, okay, we have given manual, right? This URL I have given you, right? Last time. Where I have kept this URL, just 1 second, guys. The BTP, I'll pick it. Where is the my account? KJ, where is this? Okay, okay. In page 2, it is there. Yeah. I'll take the URL from here. Okay, put the URL here, no authentication. That's it. And just put the value because you are testing this, right? For example, I'm giving a first name, Jane. And then just test it. Test this. It is getting results or not. See, there is a name with 3765. Row Jane is there in the database. So this is how. This is what system will reply back. The moment when your receptionist is typing, for example, Priyanka is there. Priyanka, for example, her name is Priyanka Agarwal something. Okay, if I say Priyanka, and then it will get the list of all Priyankas. If she gives Priyanka Agarwal, if they search with full name, if that matches, and with their ID, the ID will get it displayed in their system. And the moment when they ask ID, you will tell your ID, right? And or you will show your ID card. In your ID card, whatever the number is matching with the database number, they will assure that you are a right person, and they will start sending you into that they will give you escorting for the allowing of the premises. That's what they generally do. This is what it is doing. It's giving the business partner, that is the user ID number, first name, last name. Now this is exactly you are configuring now. The same will replicate to your Joule Studio also. Clear? So now you save this one. Now the test is gone clear. So now save this entire thing, release this particular thing and publish this finally. Because if you are not publishing, system will not understand that. And it will not go to the repository. Publish this. So I told you, right, this is a Joule skill. Now this is published. So you have to go back again to the build scenario. When build lobby, there again you have to create the Joule skill of it. A new Joule skill. Create Joule skill. So put the name of the new Joule skill again here. Like this is for KJ search with name. Okay, this is for what? Mapping condition to filter on the first name. That's it. You're creating the Joule skill again on this variation. Now create Joule skill. Now put the skill name again properly here. This is for search with first name. Okay, same thing you can copy in the description, or you can write it here clearly. Retrieve. Okay, you're just giving. So you have to tell what type of names you will use it. Usually John, Jane will be used. A kind of help you have to give it. So now we created this. So now again trigger came, right? So when you click on the trigger, in my previous skill, I asked you to switch off this. Now switch this on. Don't switch this off. You keep it as it is. Okay. So that Joule will help you here. Now just go to the parameters directly. Now configure the skill input, skill outputs here. So what is the input? Only first name is your input, right? So add that input here. First name, which is the first name of the employer. This is required, which is mandatory. You are just putting that and then save this. Simple. Go to the outputs, configure the skill output. So the moment when you are giving ID, what it has to give, name, description, everything, whatever you are trying to get, that all these things it had to put it, right? So for the employees, right? So for this, now you get it the add output, you get all employees. So whatever the data of relevant employees, it will pick it. So employees, okay, string is single. Any means it will get from all the it will search for all the employees data and it will get the relevant one. So for all that you have to use in output any. And this is a list. As a list, it has to provide all the data for you. Okay. If it is not a list kind of data, you can just uncheck it. Okay. I'm putting as a list so that you will see the list functionality here. Now simply apply this and save this. Okay. Now add the action because we have to call the action what we configured, right? So call the action, browse all actions. So you will see the action that is relevant for us, which is the one right now. What I did the action, guys, that is retrieve, build, business partner, general data, right? So you can just give general data, search it. It retrieves all your, see, there are many APIs are there, which is relevant to you. You just get only those things. So what is the one which we have given? That name, if you remember, that will be always good. KJ filter BP, right? Yeah, with that we will search. It is not, there are many are there in this. Just with KJ filter. See here, KJ filter BP is there in the project. So add the relevant action, what is necessary for us. Okay. So for everything I told you that you have to create a destination variable. Already we created this for a business partner. We have S4 and mock is there. But here again is a new skill you have to again create. So I'm giving it as KJ S4 mock. But while in your lifetime, right, when you're creating many destination variables, always ensure some naming conventions and nomenclature you have to maintain for that, like 1, 2, 3, or you have to put some nomenclature for that so that you can easily map accordingly. If not, you'll confuse and map a wrong destination variable for that as well. Okay. Now again, if this destination variable has to come, you have to refresh this page, refresh this. Okay. Oh, I not searched it. Have I missed this one? Yeah, it's there. Okay, so this one inputs, outputs, everything will be there for you here. You can first see the variable kj for we have given. The inputs will map it now. If you say there is only one input will be there, business partner, that is nothing but your first name, right? And if you go to the outputs, you will see that will be your output. Once again, this is by right business partner general it only, right? Whatever I have get it. No, this is a wrong one because we did what? This one I have to get it. This is the right one only. KJ filter. Because if you remember, I have added the first name in the last row. That one I have to add it. Have I retrieved any wrong name here? 1 second, let me close all these things. Let me check this one. Okay. I have to get this one as KJ filter BP per general data. I chosen this one. Okay, this is my fault. Okay, let me go and give the right one there. I'm deleting this buddy. I'll re-add again one more time here. Call action. Browse all actions. KJ filter BP, right? General data. There will be two things will be there. I have to get the general data. I gone for the wrong one, which is by business partner number. That is why all the relevant fields has not came there. Let this add. And you will see a destination variable. Now see, all the inputs came because we have mapped first name to first name. So that one you have to map it properly. Okay. Now that is mapped. Outputs are done. Now choose the outputs again just to check it. That we will give a collection of list. Okay. BP, first name, last name. That's it. We are done. Configuration is done. So do the end configuration of it also because it is showing you red here. You have to make it what is the end as well. So for end, you have to give employees, select that. So this will be a list of results will be there. This is the one which you have to output. So list, save this. Release. Show project version. Deploy. So I'll go for the same one, KBO123J, because that is a custom environment which I created. When you're practicing, I told you, right, try to make it in public environment only. Don't create new environments because already too many environments are there. That makes the environment bulky and heavy for us. So whatever I just created, KJ S4 HANA mock, or there may be one more KJ I created right now, variable. Anything I can just pick it here. KJ only two are there. Okay, I'll go with this one. Deploy. Okay, this is deployed, guys. So as I said, now go to the build environment, control tower again to test your thing. Environments. See here, you can see under Joule, our new skill has been added. Search with name. So select that one and launch it. Okay. Now let's say I am a receptionist. Now I will test it. So someone has came, I'm asking the Joule here the same way. I am at, like when I'm talking to a person, how I communicate the same way I'll communicate to Joule. Nothing, no web page or no syncing here. So I'm asking it, I am at the front desk in the reception area. Okay. A person claiming to be an employee is here. Okay. Can you check if the one which I have told, like Jane, is in the system? Now it will check it. See here, employee directory, it has hitted the database of employee directory of S4. It got the details of Jane Rowe, what is the business partner ID, and what is his first name, last name also. See? So this is how you can easily get the database and you can do it. So now if you can say, for example, the same person has given a wrong name. Okay. If he's not Jane, he's John. Then you might say, thanks. I meant you to check if John is in the system. That means it's my fault, I have heard wrong in such case, or it's his fault, he might spelled it wrong. Anything might happen. Even system can understand that. Then you can just try it. Oh, I have given a wrong meant means. Then it will give you all Johns. It is asking employee directory whom you want. John Doe. This is what I told you, list to produce. If you remember, I have mapped the configuration of list to understand if there are multiple names. Because, for example, in our case, I remember only in this entire team Priyanka name, so I'm spelling her name. So if Priyanka is there, there might be many Priyankas are there in a company. Priyanka Agarwal, Priyanka Jain, or Priyanka X, Priyanka Y. No, so many Priyankas will be there. If I just say Priyanka, doesn't make any sense. So it will go with a selection of lists, so I can pick the right people there. Like if it is a John Smith or John Lara, John Price, so entire Johns will come into the list. So like this, you can get a list of the required people also, and then you can, with the same name, you can sync it and get the details as well. So system will that easily gets the data for you when it is configured properly like this. Okay, this is one such variation I have told to you. Now, after this, what is the other thing? Because the majority of part we look at is this Joule. That means we created a BPA kind of process and everything. So, for example, some process is there. You want to consume an automated process in this Joule skill. Now, what variations we have? We have just showed to create some request or to get the validation of the right person of the same system, the system or not. Those two are done by this particular thing. Now, in such case, let's say if you want to, in order to process the particular system that is visible in Joule Studio, the process must be published to your library also, which I'm doing right now. Every time I'm publishing, right, it is going and sitting in your global library. Okay. So you have to remember every time when you create a process, when you create everything, that has to be published. Then only you can consume those processes, those particular skills from the library to your purpose as well. Okay. Now let me show you how to create a simple automated process for sending an email, okay, on the same badge IDs and everything, so that something happened in your organization. If you ask Joule, Joule will start sending emails also. Instead you writing, Joule as a machine itself will write an email and send it to the relevant parties as well. Okay. So now what I'm extending for this currently thing, whatever this ID scenario is there, which we have used in this particular scenario, now Joule skill will little enhance to make the email communications as well. That is what I'm going to do now. Okay. Now that is a automated process again. So that is not a regular process. So now let me show you how you create that automated process and how you consume it as a whole in the Joule itself only. So for that, first of all, we have to create an automated process, and then you have to consume that in the Joule. Little lengthier exercise, but I'll show you that in a simple manner. So if you go to the SAP build environment, again, go to the lobby, go to the create. We are going for the automated process. Now, not going directly into our skill, but you will go to the process for building now. Now say next. Select the process. Now enter the name of the process. Let's say I'm giving, this is a security check. So I'm writing initiate security check via email. Okay, when you are doing that, when a badge is reported as lost or stolen, okay, contact the security via email. This is my case. Okay, I'll copy this. I have to repeatedly write this. Create. Now, if you create an automated process at this level, go to the automate process. Now, provide what is this process? You can name like send email security or send mail to security, right? So this is the same. I'm just writing the same description here. Create. Expand this. You will see some variables here. Okay, so these variables, you can see the general variable which we have already configured, not required. Now, if you go to the variables, you can add the variables that you want to promote as a part of process to Joule Studio. Now, what variables you want to promote? Your employee ID, your badge status, the employee's first name, last. These are all variables, right? This is what you want to, when a security identify or when they see something is lost or something is stolen, what they will ask. These are the prime factors. Your ID, your first name, last name. Okay. So these ones you will generally take as a consideration now as part of variables here. Now see here in the variables, first of all, add this one. You'll configure the first of all process inputs here. Add the input employee ID. This is employee ID only. Same thing, you can keep it as a description here. Okay, this is a string. Okay, this is required. These are all required, whatever the inputs I'm giving. Okay. Badge status. Same thing. Copy paste. Again, badge status will be a string here. This is also required. Again, your first name and last name. This is the first name, which is required, and then last name. Okay, ma? So we have applied these inputs. Okay. Now, what is the one you have to apply as part of the automation here? You have to apply a sending of the messages or email communication, right? So if you go to the trigger, just uncheck this one. If you go here, okay. First of all, save this one. Whatever we have done might lost again unnecessarily. Okay, if you go to this one, we already saw forms, approvals, automations, actions, okay, notifications, all these things we have. Decision also we used it. So many of these I have already used in the earlier examples. Now we will see email also now. If you pick on email, so you can add an email address in the to field, okay, with the subject line, so that it will show you that particular mail also. Okay, now let me try with that. The step name will be send mail, nothing to change here. Just to mail to header only, I have to add it. So I'm adding my one of the email ID. Just 1 second. One of the ZaranTech email IDs only I'm adding. This one to, this is the mail ID I'm giving. Okay. And then subject line, simple, last batch. Okay. Now mail, whatever the mail, that is all automation, right? So you have to configure your automation mail body here. Okay. With all the fields that are relevant for it. Okay. So here, nothing you have to write it. Everything system has to capture and it has to produce in the Joule. Getting that? So on the process input, first of all, you have to take first name, last name, okay, with ID, which is employee ID, you can tag there, has been reported as lost, and the badge status is badge status. That means commonly this with ID, this has reported lost, and the badge status, these are also common matter body. As a mail body, it goes to everyone, but the name will change, the employee ID will change, the badge status will change as part of the data mapping. That's it. Now apply this. Okay, we should have something, right? Please take appropriate measures. Okay. Best regards, service desk. Okay, now apply this. So design console, mail body, everything ready. Now just simply save this. After saving, just there is no need of any ending or trigger. I'm just putting an email communication with variables. That's it. As simple as that. Now release this. Release. So go to the show project version and deploy this. So on the same environment, I'm deploying this as well. Okay. So if you go to the build, as I told you earlier, if you are not publishing anything to the library, you cannot make a skill to build in the Joule. So first of all, you have to publish this to library. So if you can see, this is appearing here. Now, if you expand this right navigation, go to the versions. Okay. Now come down, you see the deployed version. This one in the 3 dots, if you select that, there you will see publish to library. That one you have to publish to your library. Then only Joule skill can pick it up. So I'm publishing this to library, publish. Okay, this is published to library now. Good. Now you can see the release status is now deployed and then published to library also on the down right side here. Okay, ma. So then now what you have to do, you have to create the Joule skill. That's it. Now go to the lobby again. Create Joule agent and skill. Same thing. KJ underscore badge security. Right? So you can see the same element I have given, right? Contact security when a badge is reported as lost or stolen. Just copy this again. Review this. Okay. Now, once it is done, now we'll create a skill again. The project is the Joule project we created. Now skill you have to create. So put a same name there again when it appear. Create Joule skill. Badge security. I copied the description, right? I just copied it here. Just now I'm creating this. Awesome. Okay, this one is there. And then badge security, everything is done. Now go to the parameters. Okay. Now you can see in the parameters, you have to configure your skill input, skill output. That means what is the one that you want to put in input, what is the one you want to put it in the output. So here, what is my input? 4 inputs I configured, right? In the variables. If you remember, in my BPA, I have configured 4 variables: employee ID, first name, last name, and then badge status, right? So input this 4 employee things here. Employee ID. Copy this here. Employee ID. Put this as string. This is required, add input. Now then you have badge status. Again, put this here, expand this, required, and then you have your first name, expand this here. Okay, required, again, last name. Copy paste, last name. All are done. Now apply this here. What happened to this? 1 second, it's not done. 1 second, let me configure this. What happened? This is completely refreshed. 1 second, hold on, guys. I gone to the security. Trigger, parameters, configure. Let me add one and see why it is not saving. Is there any problem with this? Add input. If not, I have to open this again in the incognito mode. Apply and save this. It is applied, right? Yes. Configure. Okay, this is not saved. Okay, configure. Yeah, I'll configure another two now. First name and last name. And last name. Apply. Okay, all four in the skill inputs done. Now skill outputs configure. Sorry, skill outputs, not variables. Skill outputs. You have to configure. Nothing will be there for this because we are doing parameters here. Okay, so don't configure anything at this level now. Just save this to ensure that we are on the right track. Close this. Now on the scenario, now you will call the BPA process that we have already ran, right? So now we have seen response, we have seen actions. Now you will see the run process. This is the process which will bring your BPA into the Joule. So if you click on the run process, whatever the configuration that we have done, right, it will come here. Now browse all processes. So now here you will see whatever I have given, my code KJ. What is the process I built there? What is the name I'm given there? Initiate security. Okay, send mail to security. Okay. Yeah, this is the one which we have added. Initiate security via email. Add this. Let that add first of all. So if you click on the send mail to security, on the inputs, you have to map all your status. That's it. Batch status to batch status, employee ID to employee ID, first name to first name, and then last name to last name. Slowly do. If you do hurry barily, it might go here and there. Be slow while you're mapping. Okay. Once you have mapped this one, right? Now you have to do another thing. That means I'm sending the mail to security. You have to send a message also, right? Now this is where your Joule will always have a message configuration, right? In the last two parts, how I have shown to you, in this variation also, you have to configure a message for it. So here, expand this, send response, and send message. Okay. So open the message editor. Same thing. I'm configuring for security. That's it. Last time I explained you, right? This is an illustrated message. Title will be security has been informed. Oh, it was automatically coming here. Now badge status, badge. Okay, your badge status will be like this. Just simple as that. You just put the status only here. The badge status. Dollar. Just select these two ones. So not from context, you have to select from the information general. So here you have to select your status. The start event, you will see from the start event, you will see this badge status. The start event one, you have to pick it here. Okay. So there will be $2. Just remove $1. Every time when you map it look like only, always ensure that you're removing the dollar here. Okay. Now you can see badge status has been reported to the security. This is the text. Now you can replace these relevant parameters accordingly when you're doing. If it is an ID status or any status, whatever the fields you have, you can map accordingly. This here, I'm doing this badge status. Here, no buttons, nothing is required for here at this moment. You just simple save this small skill I'm just showing you here. So the skill is saved. Now save the entire project. Okay. Ensure that in the end projects you have not done any things or not. You should not do anything here at this level at least, because you can see only these things are there. Okay. Now just release this one. Show project version, deploy. So deploy to which environment? Our created custom environment. Let the deploy. This is deployed. Okay. Now go to the build lobby. Control tower. Again, environments. Where you have deployed, you have to pick that environment. So I'm picking my environment here. Now see here. In this environment, you can see all the automation launchers as well. The agent managements, if you're doing all the agents and everything. So for us, we have to go for the even process and workflows also. If they have created any and they have mapped anything here, you can see those ones also here. So See, this is one process we have already done, right? Send mail to security. If you remember, I have created that and published and deployed that to KBO123 environment only. So that is why it is showing you here. Okay. So for Joule also, if you go for Joule, you can see this has been deployed here. See, KJ batch security, this one. So just pick this and launch the Joule Copilot. Go for new conversation. Okay. So whatever the records that I created, I'm just writing on the same only. Let's say Mr. John, who has been earlier, his ID is lost, right? So I'm writing to Joule. First, hi. Then write this here. Please report to security that the old batch of John Doe, you can give the employee number also, has the status lost. So I asked Joule to do this activity. See here, it was sent, security has been informed, badge status lost has been reported to security. But we have I don't know, that one have I given multiple times there, it was picking like that. But yes, it has reported as lost to the security now. Now we can see this one. Okay, I'll just check whether that mail is captured or not. Let me show you this also. BTP 11, right? Yeah, I thought I'm sharing. I have not received to my mailbox, but yes, I have asked it. Okay, where is this? Yeah. So I have asked it after this, can you send that mail? So it asked me, I'm unable to send mails now. However, I can help the draft the email as an example because that mail is not configured in our internal environment, right? So it automatically captured this environment only. But these emails are not mailboxes. These are only for our internal purposes only. So mails can't be triggered to it, even though I given a generic email there. But mail cannot be triggered until or unless your mail is configured in the system properly. Okay, so this is how it is drafted a mail for that. So you can use this draft immediately and you can also send that. But in general, if the mail is configured in your system, it will automatically draft it to that email directly. Okay, so like this, you can send within the organization all the secure emails and mail communication also automatically, and Joule will help you. So now this badge status will be automatically kept as lost. It will not be new anymore. Earlier for the first access when we have showed to you, I told it is created as new. Now it will be reported as lost automatically. System will automatically update it in the database from the front end of your Joule agent. Okay, so these are the multiple variations we can see as part of the Joule Studio. Okay, we have still more access we can do, but any questions till now?
Yeah, so I have a few questions. All right, so we basically, saw 3 to 4 Joule skills that you demonstrated, right? And then what we did was we created separate projects, and then under each project, we created a single skill and deployed it. So what if I wish to combine 2 Joule skills under one single project? So having said that, what is the benefit versus the drawback of having more than one Joule skill under one project? Because the deployment of all the Joule skills under one single project will happen together. So, like, I just want to understand the benefit versus the drawback of having such a, deployment.
Right. To answer your question, it's a good question, valid question also. Yes, the answer is yes. You can combine multiple Joule skills in one project. That is why, if you see in my Joule project, let me show you that. See, the moment when I go to here, this is in deployed version. Let me go to the editable version. See, guys, if you expand this, see, you are seeing a launch Joule skill, which means you can add multiple Joule skills in one project. And in fact, that is the recommended and scalable way for you for designing the Joule solutions. Okay, in one project you can keep. I told you you have to create a skill for each purpose, but all the Joule skills we can combine in one single project. You don't need to maintain different projects for that. Okay, and as I said, this is a recommended approach and the best way approach for your Joule projects as well. And there is no cons for that, all pros only, because it is triggered, and when you call it all APIs, relevant APIs or relevant BPAs or relevant external APIs, all things comes into one single block. So it's easy for the Joule also to hit the skills easily from one single project rather than going for different projects. Okay, you can do that to answer that, and you can do from here only. This is the position where you can do it. Anyways, I'll show you one more example where you can like combine these multiple Joule skills also. Yeah. Any other questions?
What you are showing right now is a nested Joule skill, meaning we are calling another Joule skill within the Joule skill that we are trying to define here, right?
On the project, this is a one skill.
This is a Joule skill, right?
You are adding one more skill also. You are adding, for example, available Joule skills are there. You are adding those skills also here, like that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
In addition to this, how about the environments here? In a real world, or will it be a quality dev pro type of thing, or what about the environments?
I mean, you're asking landscape?
Landscape, or here we are doing everything in one environment. No, one environment, and project is a subset of environment, if I am correct. How it will happen in a real world scenario?
Right. Yeah, I told you it is a BTP empowered, right? So the moment we are doing, so on a sub account level only this will do. Your dev has your one sub account, your quality has one sub account, and your prod has some sub account. The moment when you're doing all the CTMS things I told you, right? Same way that will be by using the CTMS cloud transport management system. All your transport will be picked from dev to one sub account to another sub account, and they will do it accordingly from that.
So here there is another KJSM environment is, that's where we are doing everything. It's a kind of...
Let me tell you that. Yeah. Generally, when you are transporting all your Joule project metadata, your Joule skill definitions, whatever the prompts you configure, your skill to action mappings, your orchestration logic, these are all things will go as part of sub account to sub account, dev to quality production. But your API destinations, which you created per sub account, right? Those ones cannot be transferred between the landscape. You have to create separately for each sub account. And then your user authorizations or your live business data, these are also not transferred between the landscapes. You have to reconfigure as per your each sub account in BTP.
So these kind of things, would you be able to provide us? We are just trying to learn what would be the better architecture. What are the do's and don'ts, in a real world scenario. Here we are doing, I think, everything in a sandbox kind of an environment. But for a client environment, we should have a proper architecture, proper governance process, and probably naming conventions also holds good.
Oh, definitely. I have a document. I'll project it. Document
what would be the potential or recommended ways, do's and don'ts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, definitely. The document
please share it. Maybe I think ZaranTech, if somebody is there, just share it in the, which would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm sharing a couple of documents. So all these things, you'll have it in the available by trainer, shared by trainer folder. You can revisit that by morning. Okay.
Okay. So the recommended procedures and the process.
Exactly. Yes, sir. And email also will be shared to all the participants.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys, before I go to the next exercise? Right.
Actually, I had one. All right. So you just said that we can add more than one Joule skill to a single project. Now, it's probably just a little bit of difference in what I'm about to ask. What if I add an action before the sends mail to security, and the action is the same as what we did for searching employee by name? So what is the difference between doing that action followed by the send mail to security versus having two separate Joule skills for that, for those two things?
I mean, you're doing security mail twice, you're saying, which means that?
No. So here on the screen that you're showing, after trigger, if I add the action that we did to search the employee with first name, And then I add this process, automated process, to send mail to security in the single Joule skill. I think the option is there to do that. I don't know if it makes sense or not. That's what I'm trying to understand. So the option is definitely there. Then if I do it in one single Joule skill versus if I do two single Joule skills within the same project, what is the difference? Like, what will be the difference between those two scenarios?
Yeah, I know generally you get confused with this thing. What actually happens at runtime is, see, on a plain level, what I want to say, you can add anything. As you said, there is a probability and there is a space that you can add. As you said, whatever the way you want, after a trigger, you can add action and then you can add the automated process in the same Joule skill also. Nothing happen, it will trigger. So, execution here, it depends upon how you model the skill. That's it. Because we are telling the machine, hey, you work on this. This is my first step. This is my second step. This is my third step. It's not mandatory that I showed you like this. You should follow the same thing. If you have some other in your mind, you can start executing that. System will follow the same thing. Action after trigger, and also you can call a automate process inside this change or skill. Again, one more job skill you add, system will take it. Until or unless if you are able to map the right data, right things, system will not stop you, and there is no cons also on that. It will definitely execute.
Okay. Now, what I tried to understand was if I do it in two separate Joule skills, what will be the difference? Right? So both will, the project or the deployed project will still be able to handle the same request, right?
I got, yes, project will handle the same. Any n number of skills you can add. Because see, I have 15, 20, if I work with the HR system, I might have 15, 20 variations will be there. For each skill I add, I cannot run a separate project for each. All the 20 skills I'll create it and I'll put in a major project, one single project. I'll call all these skills and put a flow on it. That's it. I don't need to go for each single project every time to and hit it. So that for Joule Copilot Auto, it will be easy for it to answer the questions that you're asking from the front end side.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So understand that, guys. This is about Joule. I think so. I already got the good flavor of it. Yes. What other variations we are seeing is one other variation in the next week we will see is build code. BAS platform is there. So in that, I'll show you how code also generated. Now you are seeing as a co-pilot. Now you're asking something to Joule. Joule is helping you to answer that questions which are already configured. Now, without configuring something, if something is already there in the database, if you're asking about that database to Joule, it will help you to getting that also. It will help you and write some lines of code also for you to make your life easy while you are going with the BAS kind of things. Yes, let's discuss on few other topics also now. We understood about this things. I'll discuss with the integration options basically. Little explanatory now, okay, rather than I'm showing something for you now. So when you are talking to Joule, I told you, right, Joule has good integration with success factors and S4HANA kind of thing. Even I'll explain you about that thing for integrating with S4HANA private cloud, because public cloud by default it is happening. But yes, private cloud has some strategy for that. Let me discuss that with you as well. Okay, so one thing you have to understand, the workforce, whatever that from the Joule side, it is evolving day by day. So when I'm saying it is evolving from what? From the AI transformative ideologies. So if you can see with artificial intelligence, how works gets done. That's what thing organizations or entire industry is looking for. So at that instant, it's very important for people like us or to the organizations at some extent to build a strong foundation to support their customers or internally to the employees or to the people as a whole, right? So for all these things, why I'm giving this overview is the outcomes of Joule has some expectation in the industry, like faster works, smarter insights, a kind of better outcomes compared to human interventions or human manipulations, how they do, how the high quality work or content that effortlessly that you wanted. Because if you are working for 3-4 hours anyways, a human can exhaust, but a machine can't exhaust, right? It has a lengthy lifetimes will be there, right? So in all these things, like when you are building or making something, so your integration system should be that strong enough to understand your so-called data consoles or data entities that you are calling and making something on that. Okay. So in line to that, success factor is also one such thing, which is proving successful in the Joule integration. That is the reason I'm quoting that in this demo also, because while when you have a success factors license, valid license, which is having an integration, if you want to do that integration for the Joule, in that case, you have to ensure you have that license which can be having integration allow license that can be do with Joule. Normal license cannot work for you. Okay, because the data some centers that supported by Joule has a separate success factors license. Normal success factors license is different from your Joule success factors license. So that is listed in the SAP. That one you have to consume when you're talking or making something about the success factor, because people, the crowd, someone will be a pre-sales or consultants will be there. So for them also, I'm giving the valid information here. So they have to be very proactive while talking this to the client. There is no free licenses, or with existing license, they cannot do it. You have to buy a separate license for that. Okay. And then once you are being assigned the required roles to get started, all your BTP global account admin and BTP sub account admin access should be there to handle this integration of success factors plus Joule. And you should have a valid license as an admin for your SAP cloud identity services also. So that these three important things should be there before you are going to activate Joule for your success factors. Okay, that is one point. And another one, when you are going for private edition, public cloud, anyways, Joule is getting integrated there. So I don't want to discuss more on that. But yes, for the private cloud edition, when you want to set up Joule for that, okay, this private cloud edition basically outlines your Joule with S4HANA. That is when you are targeting for your enhanced user productivity for different improved navigations or across the core, when you're touching the core and making something to the core applications, right? Then you have to procure then you have to go for this Joule and private cloud integration. One thing you have to understand that is here, Joule is designed to what? To facilitate the user interactions. That is the end fact. Within a cloud environment, whether it's a public cloud or something. But when we are specifically talking about private cloud, you should have a perfect navigational pattern platform which can helps you to direct your users to the relevant Fiori apps. Because in private cloud, what happens the moment when you're triggering something, it has to hit your Fiori environment, which is in private cloud, nothing but your Fiori apps, right? So there, the integration has to support your core application. That is what I'm saying. It is hitting your core. So it has to support your core applications. When I'm saying core applications means what? It includes your procurement, your finance, sales, whatever it might be. So these are all.
Give me your screen stopped, okay? Sharing, can you please share it?
I'm not writing anything. I'm just sharing a blank Word screen. That's it. Is it not displaying for you? Okay, I'm not writing anything here. Yes. Right. So let me open that. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, I'm not writing anything. So as a whole, so this will allow the users to perform tasks for your creation or uploadings or making something. Okay. So whenever your private cloud setup is complete, you can navigate to the Fiori Launchpad and you can, access your Joule web client. There is a web client especially for Joule is there for private cloud. So for them, they can use through web client and explore its features. Similarly, what you're doing right now. So there is a separate guide for this from SAP. Anyways, I'll attach the guide for you. Joule for SAP S4HANA Cloud Private Edition is a complete setup guide is there. I know. See, I usually do public cloud trainings as well because I heard a lot from the public cloud customers also. Because public cloud, whether I don't know how many of you have really experienced the public cloud environment, but as I experienced, I already worked on public cloud. I'm telling you that fact. Public cloud cannot be a real good fit for the heavy data environments. I can say it's a failure. Because yes, public cloud is not meant for that. Public cloud is a SAP best practice environment. All best practice based processes, procedures, they have already pre-configured it. The customers who are having the low to mid kind of requirements, they will go for public cloud. But people who are on heavy data, like, any bigger client you take, they can't try for public cloud. They have to go for private cloud only. So in such cases, when they're going for private cloud, when they want to implement the AI functionalities like Joule, then ultimately you have to set up your Joule for private cloud in S4HANA, and then you have to do that setup, and then you have to integrate that. Then you have to use your Joule capabilities in the web client, as I just showed you in the normal way. This is what you have to do for the private cloud edition. Okay, so these are all your different things you might come across. Okay, but yes, all to the business relevancy when I talk, or to the integrating the AI content, whatever it might be, those are all things that comes as a core picture here, guys, when you're talking about this individual integrations, whether it's success factors or whether it is your private cloud. Okay, and as I said earlier, your architecture will looks like this. I told you I'll explain the architecture once I complete the, like this Joule thing, so that you'll better understand that well. Now I'm explaining that architecture now.
Sorry, just I have one query, because we are discussing on the same point for the public cloud for the SMEs level, the business.
Okay.
And such kind of, I got one discussion, under discussion, I got one client call with they are expecting like the customer code should be there, have the interface with the customer in the B1 software. And they are having like getting the bank data inside is using the BDC recording, and they are using the customer code along with the unit code they are giving to the bank, and bank is sending back. They are having backside their BAPI, using the BAPI to post the transactions. Is it not possible in the public cloud platform to interface like these things?
No, without Joule, you're asking with Joule. What is the case? I'm not getting that.
Grow with SAP and grow with SAP with Joule or without Joule, both way I'm asking. Any way to be just enhance these things in the public cloud? You'll grow with SAP in software.
It's a good question. But yes, your client has bank data. You are telling that, right? And it is, you said, inside BDC. It's a complete.
He was in the B1 software. So earlier they were using in the B1.
Yeah,
now
right.
Yes.
To answer your question, I got it. Yeah, sorry. To answer your question, yes, it can be done with Grow with SAP, and bank data can be handled via BAPIs also. Because to clarify your scenario, bank data captured via BDC recordings you are telling, which is in backend postings are via BAPIs. Now you have all the sensitive financial data. When you're saying bank data means all sensitive. So you have all your IBANs and payments and everything. So here, from Grow with SAP means all your public cloud, your clean core will be there, and there will be no classic ABAP, all these things will be there. So you can do that. One part, what there are suggestions I can do it. One is, if you go with Grow with SAP, you can have all your business partners, your journal entries and all these things, in a more secure manner. When you go with directly with BAPIs or APIs, which is a recommended approach in the growth strategy. Or else, if you want to go for automation, like in Joule, you have to automate all your bank master change approvals, your dual controls there, and all these things will be there where you can do it. But since security wise, you have to make some additional things on that. But yes, if you integrate this in the Joule will validate your intent and extracts of the bank data. Okay. And Joule calls through BDC or BPA approval process, it will do the validation actions, and it will respond bank details that are submitted for approvals. And it will not, remember that Joule will never store any bank data or any bypass securities on its own. As being to native to SAP, still Joule will not hold any security data. It just orchestrates your APIs and BPAs, and it will improve your UX design. That's it will do at this process. So if that is your recommendation, yeah,
Joule cannot do, but whether it's possible to go on the BTP platform and enhance this development, can we make it the interface from the bank to the SAP through the BTP or any other way?
Yeah,
interface.
other ways are there. Any other ways means other ways are so many ways that are but it is possible. Yeah, but talking. I mean, BTP is having multiple supported ways for this. I mean, you're asking BTP palette means through the BTP cockpit only, right? Without touching the
Right.
S4 core. Without touching S4 core means, yeah, you can do. It is fully supported, but that time it will not be via BDC because BDC is completely screen based. It is not allowed with Grow or with public cloud because screens are not allowed in public cloud. So you have to
BAPI
replay.
can be used, right?
No, not BAPI. Specifically, you can use BDC with all the native patterns of BTP will be there. You have to call, or yes, the BAPI is what I have told earlier. You have to call your, what is that standard APIs or your BAPIs, through that work only. Like where you have your custom UI, we told you, right, for your bank data entries. You simply build that apps in the UI and then you call that through your BAPIs or thing, and then you can put them into the cloud. That's the way you have to work for it. Or else there is one more way I can suggest you. It is a middleware which is integration suite, which people are using right now. Because when your external bank systems or file-based things are there, when you want to orchestrate that, you can go for integration suite where it will help you on all these entry points for where you can do it. That is one other way which you can do it.
Okay. So we can use
But
the
how are
middleware
these
through.
things on Grow? I think he's asking for SAP Grow now. Grow system, is it kind of matured well?
Means, what do you mean by matured one?
Means, Grow is specifically designed for SMB enterprises, no? So, like integrating Joule and then, integrating if all these things is Joule still matured for the Grow customers? Or?
Yeah, majority. See, as of SAP is thinking as of I did give trainings on Grow as well. So Grow is much matured enough to handle all of this because many of these bank customers are doing on Grow as well. So the difference that you see between Grow with SAP and BTP is because people will very often misunderstood this because Grow is like an enterprise ready public cloud solution. But BTP is not an alternative for it. It is an extension of the platform of the. That is a major thin line difference. It is not a separate. It's an extension of Grow BTP. So they two are not competitors. It's because many customers do ask me, "Hey, what is the difference between Grow and BTP?" No, there is no difference. Both belong to same. BTP is an extension of Grow. They are complementary. With Grow with SAP means nothing but Grow with SAP is nothing but your public cloud plus all the SAP best practices plus the clean core environment. These three together, you call it as a Grow. So it gives you definitely the out of box solutions when you're trying to make it out. And very especially as now someone asked me, yes, that is much good enough for the bank data or finance or any compliance kind of systems. Even for what he is now tagging that to it. And yes, there is one more question now you have asked me that, right? You can never replace Grow with BTP in such cases because an extension, I'm telling you, Grow is nothing but your digital core. If I say BTP is a digital extension layer to the Grow in simple terms, if I want to quote. Understood?
So whenever you are saying that extension means we can restrict the processes on the query tile, we can validate, we can substitute, anything we can do through the BTP, that is the extension of the process, right?
Yes.
Okay. And one more doubt, like they have currently like in the Rise or in the B1, we can create the custom tables, we can maintain the data, we can play with the tables and what the business is having the expectations. Can we, while doing the extension of these things, whether these tables is going to be where on the BTP platform?
Where you're asking?
In any when we are doing the HANA web on HANA or web classy, so we generally use like the user. We have some custom requirements, so we just create a custom table. We save the data. All the param tables are there, so we use generally those things for the customs, right? So as we are saying the clean core SAP for the public cloud group Grow. So at that time, we are not going to enhance any a single custom table in the Grow platform. Just why I understand. So whether the BTP will help to create these types of custom data.
Yes. BTP will allow you to create custom tables. You can do a lot of customization in BTP. There is no worry on that part.
And that won't be going to hit the as for HANA database. That will be the BTP database itself, which is having, right?
Yeah, for
Or
private.
advanced.
At public
So
cloud
this
level,
is
you cannot have this ECC kind of table strategy will be there. You cannot even do that. But in BTP, you can fully handle your tables. You can design the schemas as well. You can do that's an SAP recommended approach as well. You can do that in BTP more seamlessly.
Okay. And all the custom reports will be handled like from the BTP platform, what we generally used earlier in the as for HANA, correct?
Sorry, can you please come again?
We usually prepare lots of custom reports in the S4HANA and or the RISE SAP, you can say. Grow SAP, I haven't worked, but I got the query, so I asked you.
Right. Yes, almost all custom reports you can handle, buddy, but not in the old ECC way, but in the way the cloud handles. That's the way you have to. No, there is what I mean to say. Direct reporting on S4 tables is not allowed in public cloud environment. So at that level, you cannot do, but all your custom reports are supported on BTP. You can do via your views, APIs, whatever your replications you're doing. So inside the way in public cloud also, you can do standard plus key user, or outside the BTP if you want, right? You can do like a side-by-side kind of things also. So these all things are there for you. So you can easily do it, the full customizations.
Okay, this is just I'm a bit more curious about like having the AC Docker table. I'm pulling the data from AC Docker on the BTP platform for the view. And at that time, I'm having some data in the custom table, which I want to incorporate for the customer reports using the logic from the AC Docker from the custom table. So will it be possible to work it like that?
You are pulling logic from where? From S4 ECC, or sorry, from S4 on-prem?
Say, S4 AC Docker table is there, right? So we are pulling that on BTP platform. I'm going to create one custom report, which involves your AC Docker records as well as it's needed some custom tables records with what we are going to prepare on the BTP platform because we are not able to create on the S4 environment. So whether I can incorporate both table and can prepare the custom report.
Yeah, you can build custom reports in BTP based on your so-called AC Docker. But there is one thing, you must not pull AC Docker directly because there is a, what do you call, SAP for all these kinds of approaches. There is a clean core way which SAP generally recommends, okay? Because there is no direct access to AC Docker table is not allowed in BTP, okay? I mean, to the public cloud level. Only whatever the CDS views or APIs that are based on AC Docker, right? That ones you can use it.
Got it. So by CDS view, just we will take it the what the expected records I wanted to get it.
100% in Grow. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? On to the integration. This is the one. So I'm done for actually. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
So yeah, I think this was a good discussion between Grow with SAP and BTP. But we have a huge amount of customers, who are in on-prem or let's say, private cloud, right? Now, typically for those customers, right, what would be our storyline or suggestion when they want to utilize the AI framework of SAP? What are,
Okay. AI framework, including means, okay, fine. AI framework means, or Joule also will be there, anything. Yeah, this is a valid question, and this is how you face the customers also. See, there is a fear across the globe on this, because large on-prem private customers usually worry about what? They worry about your data that is leaving SAP, or whatever I have saw from my experience. I'll tell you that, there is a loss of control. They might worry about the data or some sort of disruption to the stable ECC environment that who people are for ages they have been habituated. If you don't address these things upfront, right, they won't listen, because the first question every customer asks is data that is leaving SAP. What happens to it? What happened to my migration after migration to public cloud, or what happens to the compliance? See, AI framework in the sense means, see, AI or Joule, they does not replace your system. This is very clear. It does not move your data. They does not force you to the public cloud. What exactly AI or Joule for on-prem or private cloud customers does is, Joule is or let's say AI, whatever trying to do, is a conversational orchestration layer. It runs on which platform? BTP platform. So now you're talking to what? You're talking to your existing SAP systems via APIs, which means You are talking to certain things which are having existing authorizations, right? Means we are already in some system, means SAP have authorization. So at this level, Joule is conversing with those. It is not neither working as a data warehouse, or it is not replacing your tool, or not replacing ABAP, nothing. Okay, so altogether what it does, so when you try to tell that, start with which type of AI framework, not Joule. So do not start with a chatbot, because whenever you are approaching to such customers, you should not say a chatbot kind of thing, because chatbots are little, let me tell you that chatbots are really outdated now. People are not interested. They want to see some framework. As you said, there's a good word, AI framework. So AI framework, let me tell you, these are some of the important things on AI framework. I'm just writing it here. So AI framework will design on what they will purposefully see customers or the people. The use case identifications are important for your AI framework. In addition to that, AI framework will concentrate on the some of the guardrails and the governance. As of I know, it will completely concentrates on the architecture and the security models. Okay, so AI Joule is one of the such component in this AI framework. It is not the whole. So that is not your only selling point. Your selling point should be these ones. Your use case definitions, your guardrails, your governance, your architecture and security models you're proposing from AI. So if you position Joule as one tool for the productivity, AI will reduce your clicks, your tickets, your training cost at a Joule's perspective, not as a whole perspective. You're getting that? So you are starting with zero risk use cases, and you have to make something other more than as a chatbot to the system as part of AI. So this is what you have to majorly propose as part of the framework. When you are talking about framework also, in SAP's embedded AI, we have hybrid adoption models are there. Like we can have read-only insights, assisted actions, controlled automations, like we have agentic AI, which is an optional one right now. So these are all the ones which will help you as a whole in your framework to make your systems run faster, and the latency is reduction at least at a user front level 40 to 50%. This is what the live figures I'm telling to you. So as a whole, you are not touching core, but yes, you are working with certain systems which are sitting on BTP and using the same APIs which you have already exposed, and you are making the things progressive for the system's capacity. That's it. Clear?
So, yeah. So, Tribal, let me put a real industry scenario in front of you.
Okay, tell me.
Let's say, I have a customer who had 7 terabytes of active data. Okay. As on, let's say, he's just about to start his journey towards S4. Okay. He's currently sitting in ECC PHP 8 version with 8 terabytes of data. Okay. Now, if I have to, take an example, let's say, their sales process, okay, runs in a very fragmented way. Okay, there is one part of the process which runs in S4, sorry, in ECC, and then it moves on to, the L3 process runs in separate third-party systems, right? Again, after confirmation acknowledgement, it again comes back to ECC. Okay, so I'm just trying to tell you that there's a huge amount of data, plus there is a lot of fragmented processes, right? Plus, on top of it, customer has been doing a lot of customization over a period of time, right? For example, if I take any of the retail or manufacturing clients who exist, who have been using SAP. For such customers, right, we want to give them a value add in terms of using this AI framework, right? And I do understand that the limitation exists in, of course, a public cloud. And overnight, I cannot ask them to move their data because they are bound by GDPR regulations, right? There is audit, there is governance, there's a lot of complications, right? Depending on country to country, right? In those cases, what becomes as an SI partner for me as a beneficial use case which I can go and pitch to my customer. Any example from your experience, or you may have come across this scenario, that would be helpful.
Right. Yeah, I got that. See, for reframing this problem, this is not an AA problem to be practical when you want to go certain things. When customer has larger data footprints, and that is one of the common scenarios when we very frequently use, and fragmented process landscape is also common. And yes, as you said, and in these cases, AA cannot be bolted directly. Let me tell you that frankly. AI must be layered after your architectural stabilization. First, you have to stabilize your architecture in these cases, and then you have to implement as a layer the AI on the top of it. Means we are not introducing AI to automate your chaos. Let me tell you that. And we are introducing the AI framework to stabilize and to optimize the transformation journey that he wants to make it from ECC to S4, or like either it's any cloud that you want to make it out. Okay, so for all these things, I have seen the similar cases for one of the biggest banking customer, one of the oil customer in Saudi also, and we have dealt these customers also. Okay, but not at a complete AI front level, because yes, even their expectation is also at AI. So we have proposed as a layer on the top of it. But yes, they moved from ECC to S4 as a landscape discovery. They have gone further because many third parties are also there. Even you just quoted one third party, there are many third parties are there, and there are many integrations and complex architectures are there. So these cases, the first important thing is you have to, because the client will be also more worried about their core. So you have to stabilize your core first of all in these cases. So you should move core without innovation risk. This is the first point. Okay, and then here you have to, as you said, no, many actions will come into picture for your L2, L3 sales process harmonization. You have to identify what needs to stay external and what have to move to S4. That is very important part. And there you have to reduce your custom code print also. Then you have to define your clean core boundaries. And what is the AA value here? You can add here, as you have just asked me. You can add the AA in the perspectives of pattern detections. Okay, because the sales expect exceptions will be there when you use this pattern detections. And not only that, when at times of your so-called root cause analysis will be there for many failed confirmations or such type of things are there, AI will add value here if you add a layer on top of that. And very importantly, for all this bulk data, you might have your anomaly detections for all your historical data. That historical anomaly detections also, AI will easily handle that. Okay, still, let me tell you that even with Joule, this part is cannot be done. You have to go for embedded AI framework. Joule cannot handle this, whatever I just told you, the pattern detections or historical anomalies, Joule cannot handle that. Okay, so you have to go for BTP, which will be a critical part here, because you are saying GDPR. Why I am telling BTP now? Because GDPR, when you talked about it, country-specific logics are pre-configured in BTP. For heavy reporting, or either you say exception handling, or as you said now, the staging and aggregating multiple heavy tables of data, these are all has a very much what you call the freeness that was actually been committed in BTP. Okay, so per region also you have it, because you said GDPR, I'm telling you, because at GDPR you have to take care of your per region sub accounts wise compliance and security, so that can be controlled, and the tokenization or masking whatever will be there, that will help you in this GDPR for the BTP. So that is where you have to be very clear. And as I said earlier, your AI framework should concentrate on the governance, security, and architecture along with the models you are trying to create. Rest all, it will take care by the middle layer, what is going from your ECC to S4. So this is how the frameworks generally run. This is how we ran in front of the clients as well. Did this answer your question, or you have any other continuity for this?
That's fine.
All right, guys. So I'm done. Take care. Bye-bye.